talk about life. Let's talk about. I want to say that I'm in my mid 20s now, and I just, like I know that this was a long time ago, but I remember that there was a time where life was a little more vibrant. It had more life to it. Life was more lively. It's like ever since 2020, life has just been depressing and dense, and there's nothing fun about life anymore. You know what I mean? Like, things have just strangely changed since 2020. And I don't know if that's just my life or if anybody else can relate, but I just remember there was a time where my everything about me was better. And if it wasn't for the way things have played out so far, I probably would still be as good as I was when I was younger. And that's one thing about life that I absolutely cannot stand is we go out here and we're expected to do all these things. Not to say that I don't want to do things, because I do want to do things. I'm not a lazy freaking person. But when it comes to the detriment of my own health, whether it be physical health, emotional health, spiritual health, anything, well, whether when it comes to the detriment of that just to get something done, that's when I have a problem. You know what I mean? Like, that's when it really starts to piss me off, because there's nothing I can't stand more than looking back in time, and the farther back I go, the better of a person I am. You know what I mean? Like you look back at when you were in high school, like that, like a lot of people when they were in high school, that was practically their peak. Some people at high school was their peak, and since then they have not been able to get themselves in a position in life where they've been able to tap back into that and be that person again. You know what I mean? You're not going to be 17, 16, or 18 again. You're not going to be that again. But are you going to be as fit as you were then? Are you going to be as uh as healthy as you were then, inside and out, emotionally, mentally, everything? Are you going to be that person again? Can you get that to that point again? Can you shake off any trauma, or any crap that society throws at you? Because society likes to normalize a lot of crap that shouldn't be normal. You know what I mean? And one thing is being stressed. That's one thing that should not be normal. It is going to a job, paying your bills, and living your life stressed because you're overwhelmed by your circumstances. And most people live that way, and the system and society wants to convince you that that's normal, that that's the way you should live your life. I really don't care what society thinks. I don't care what the system thinks or wants from me. All I care about is making my life as lively as possible, because that carries more value than anything. There's nothing more valuable than having like a certain vibe in your life. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not living in a world where that vibe is vibrant and expands, it's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? It sucks. And it's like, people need to stop normalizing things that suck, because you're just gonna you're literally, I'm telling you, people tell me, oh, you should get into the army. You're really fit and all this. You should get into the army. Go army for what? So I could leave or broken this and messed up that? No, I don't think so. I'm not interested in serving any country. I'm interested in being the best version of myself I can be, and I can't be that if I have a broken this or a broken that or a messed up this or a messed up that. That's not the goal. The goal is to preserve your health, preserve your body, preserve is the goal. is to preserve, not to damage or ruin for some temporary ideology that won't even last in the long run. No, what will last in the long run is my physical health. That's what's gonna last in the long run. You go to war, you serve your country, the war's over. It's past. Nobody thinks about it no more. Nobody brings it up. Nobody gives you the respects you deserve for even fighting. And yet you're struggling with a broken this and a broken that. So that's one thing I refuse to do. Another thing I refuse to do is work my whole life. I don't want to do. There has to be a way that I can make money that doesn't involve me working and working and working and working. Even if I have to work, I'm okay with working, but if I can work a job that's laid back, so laid back to the point where when I leave the job, I still have plenty of energy to go to the gym or exercise or stay in shape. And better yet, I'd rather have a job that's extremely laid back, live in an apartment, and have no car. I have to ride a bike to work. I have to jog to work. I have to exercise to get to work my job, and then exercise my way back home. That, to me, that sounds pretty ideal. But people, they buy a car because they need their energy for work, and then they're exhausted after the end of the day of working, and then get back in their car that they're paying ridiculous amounts of money for, and then go back to their apartment, and they have no energy left to exercise. They have no energy left to be the best version of themselves they can be. Most people who hit 30, 40, 50, they got a pot belly, and they're not fit. I'm getting sick and tired of people dismissing everything wrong with this world, everything wrong with the system, and acting like they don't have any power over it. Like, the only way we're going to have power over this system that's been doing nothing but screwing us over as people, as the either lower class or even mid class. The mid class is getting screwed like crazy right now. You can't even be a mid class anymore. They want to try to push the mid class down into the lower class, where there's nothing more than just extremely rich and extremely poor. And the extremely rich is going to have all the power, while the extremely poor are constantly struggling and can't get nowhere. Screw that. To the highest degree, screw that. There was a time in your life, in everybody's life, where there was a time in my life, in some people's lives, and if you haven't had this, you better fight to have this, where you were genuinely happy with everything that was going on in your life. Like, everything was just working out good. Everything was good. Everything was fine. You know what I mean? Like, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, everything was solid. And physically too, like great physical shape, everything all at the same time. There was a time in my life, not just my life, but other people's lives, where that was the case. And I will fight tooth and nail to make sure it stays that way. And I will give up having friends. I will give up, even though having friends was part of it, I will give up all the wrong friends, all the wrong family members, all the wrong girlfriends, all the wrong this, all the wrong that, if it means I can have that. People who try to tell me, well, you need to be working like everybody else. You're not my friend. You're nothing to me. You don't see things my way. Well, the world is not centered around you, blah blah blah. Yeah, well, guess what? It's not centered around you either. Doesn't that suck? That must really suck. I'm not gonna do that. And so far in my life, just to get certain things in order, just to have certain things working out, I had to make sacrifices. I had to sacrifice my physical health for a while. I'm not in the same shape as I was before because I had to work and I had to do this and I had to do that just to make sure this was out, just this was good and that was good. I'm sick of this shit. I'll tell you this, I do not like this country. There's other countries out there who are not so focused on turning you into some fucking uh into turning you into a fucking product that needs to be serving. There's other countries out here that you can work, you can serve, but they respect your time enough for you to be able to go out and do things that you like. You may not make the dollar in those countries may not be as valuable as this dollar or whatever. But you know what? Me being able to have that free time, still be able to support myself and have free time at the same time, that means more to me than anything that this country can give me at this point. There's other cultures out there, other ways of thinking, other systems out there that are nothing like this fucking country. There was there was a time where this country was like that, but it's not like that anymore. You can't you can't get a decent job. And then you wonder why people are so miserable. You keep defending the very thing that's making you miserable. You keep defending it. You keep giving it excuses. You keep giving it a reason to fuck you in the ass. There was a time, and you know, this really goes for you older folk because there was a time in your life where you were my age and you could have afforded nice things and you could have had an apartment and done all that and still had enough money and time left over to do what you want to do. And energy. You had enough time, money, and energy to you had enough for that. There was a time where you may have not have had the internet like we do, but you had that. You did have that. You were able to enjoy your life. You were able to go out and see your friends and you know and even if you had something as simple as a BlackBerry cell phone or one of those big block phones from like the 70s or 80s. I'm talking about you people who were in your 20s in the 80s and in the 70s or even in the 60s. I'm talking to you. Like you had what I want. When you were my age. And now I'm that age and I can't have that. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. If you ask me, life was pretty fair to you. You want to talk about life ain't fair? My ass. You had it. You had it. So you know what? Fuck you. You had the chance to do all that. You're in your 50s and 60s and 70s now, but I guarantee you, you're almost glad that you're at the old age now, and you're not my age now. I bet you're so fucking happy that you're not my age now, and you're as old as you are now. You got to enjoy your life with the system not as dense or heavy on you as it is now. There's never been a single time in life where rent was. This is the first time in history that I've ever heard of rent being $2,000, $2,000, $1,200 just for a fucking apartment. So the moment I become an adult, I gotta pay for that. Fuck you. But when I was 16, not too long ago, 10 years ago, rent was like $600. What the fuck happened? There should be no reason why I have to sacrifice my time to be fit and be healthy just to save some money to get to where I need to be in life. This is fucking bullshit. I shouldn't be having to sacrifice this much. You didn't have to. So you know what? It's like I'm like I'm like forcing things to go my way at this point. I'm the only person I know at my age who has a good credit score, really good credit score. Nothing, nothing in life is going in a way that I could be pleased with. I'm sure if I was in my 20s, in the 80s, even if everything was going wrong, at least I could be happy that I'm driving a fucking V8 muscle car that looks really freaking nice. At least I could be happy with that. Can't even have that now. You got pickup trucks with 4 cylinders in it. Like, how stupid is that? All I could hope for is that somewhere in the near future, this fucking system we live by collapses, because there's people my age who see things my way, who will legitimately let the whole thing just fall apart. That's what needs to happen. The system has gotten to a point where it needs to just collapse. It needs to fall apart. It needs to just break down and die. I not literally like an hour ago, not too long ago, I was looking at pictures of of where I was when I was younger, and and they gave off a certain kind of vibe and energy, like almost like a nostalgic feeling of what I recall life was, and it was far more beautiful than it is now, far more. 5 years into this 2020 bullshit, and it's sucked since 2020 started. And what pisses me off even no more is nobody's even fucking watching this. Why the fuck? There's other people, other creators who make the same kind of content as me. They could at least hit 800 views. How come I can't fucking hit a single fucking view? It's been nothing but struggle throughout my whole 20s so far. But I always choose to live below my means just to make sure I don't end up in any crazy debt. Because that's the goal. Don't be in any fucking sorts of debt. The only debt that I'm going to ever owe in my life is towards my credit cards. I want to avoid the rest of everything else. I want to just leave this country entirely. Go somewhere where freedom really matters. This country, you think you're fucking free here. You can't do shit here. Unless you have over ridiculous amounts of money. I want to go to a country where even poor people can go on vacation, or can even poor people can afford to go to the beach every other weekend at most, or at least. Even if the dollar's worth 1/8 of this dollar, I don't give a fuck. If I can do that there, I would much rather go there. Fuck this country. Fuck everything it stands for, because it has never, not once in history, have I ever heard of American people genuinely being happy with their lives, except the 50s. I would say that 50s is probably the only time in history where people were actually living decent lives. You could afford a big house. It's not gonna fucking kill you and shit. This country is stupid. I'm going to end the video there. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. How do you post it? Okay, I don't know how to post the damn video. It's still playing.